Hello all and welcome back. In this video, we are going to cover VPC security groups and network ACLs and the key differences between them, followed by a quick demo. In a VPC, both security groups and network ACLs together help to build a layered network defense. Security groups act as a virtual firewall for associated instances, controlling both inbound and outbound traffic at the instance level, while network ACLs act as a firewall for the associated subnets, controlling both inbound and outbound traffic at the subnet level. Understand the key differences between security group and network ACLs. Network ACLs work at the subnet level and applies to all the instances within the subnet, while security groups work at the instance level only. Network ACLs support both allow and deny rules, while security groups only support allow rules. Network ACLs are evaluated in the order that they are defined, while security groups are evaluated as a whole before deciding whether to allow or deny traffic. Also, network ACLs are stateless, while security groups are stateful. Security groups use connection tracking to track information about traffic to and from the instances and do not need explicit rules for the response traffic. Let's navigate to our VPC dashboard. We already have a VPC created, VPC-A, with two subnets in the US East 1A region. The private subnet is associated with the main route table, and the public subnet is associated with the custom route table. Let's create two new subnets. Let's navigate to the subnets view. Let's create subnet in the VPC-A. We are going to create a public subnet and a private subnet in the US East 1B AZ. Let's name it VPC-A public subnet US East 1B. And let's have a CIDR block of 10.0.2.0/24 and a VPC-A private subnet US East 1B with a CIDR block of 10.0.3.0/24. Let's go ahead and create our subnets. The subnet's state is now available. By default, the subnets would be implicitly mapped to the main route table. Let's go ahead and perform an explicit subnet association. Let's edit the subnet association for the main route table, and let's associate the private subnet in US East 1B to the main route table. Let's edit the subnet association with our custom route table and associate the public subnet in US East 1B with the custom route table. Let's navigate to our network ACLs. A default network ACL is created and currently it's associated with all the subnets. The inbound rules currently allow all the traffic, and the outbound rule also currently allows all the traffic. Let's navigate to our security groups. A default VPC security group is created, and the inbound rules also allow all the traffic, and the outbound rules also allow all the traffic on all protocols. Let's navigate back to our network ACLs. We are going to create a new network ACLs and associate our new subnets in the US East 1B AZ with this network ACL. Let me name the network ACL as VPC-A NACLs demo. Let's select the VPC-A, and let's go ahead and create the network ACL. The inbound rules do not allow any traffic, and so does the outbound rules. Let's edit the subnet association. We are going to explicitly map the subnets created in US East 1B AZ with the new network ACL. And you can see the new ACL has 2 subnets and the old default ACL has 2 subnets mapped. Let's navigate to our EC2 management console and let's create an EC2 instance for a quick testing. Let's navigate to our instances and launch an instance. I'm going to name the instance as VPCA public server US East 1B, Amazon Linux for the AMI, 64-bit architecture, T2 micro instance type. Let's select the same demo key pair. We have VPCA mapping and we're going to launch the instance in the public subnet in the US East 1B AZ. And let's enable the public IP. For the security group, we're going to create a new security group which does not allow any inbound traffic. Let's remove the SSH rule and let's go ahead and launch our instance. We already have VPC flow logs enabled for the VPC. Let's navigate to our CloudWatch management console and let's go to the CloudWatch logs log group. We already have a VPCA flow logs group created. Currently it has no log streams. We'll wait for the log stream to be generated. Let's navigate back to our EC2 management console. Let's wait for the EC2 instance state to be running and the status check passed. And the status check has now passed. Let's copy the public IP for the instance. Let's try to SSH into the instance. This won't work as the NACLs and security groups do not allow any inbound traffic. The operation will time out in a minute. And the operation has timed out. Let's go back to our EC2 management console, networking tab. Let's copy the ENI ID. A log stream for this ENI ID should be created. Let's go back to our CloudWatch. And yes, we have an ENI ID log stream created. I already have my IP copied. Let's search by my IP and you can see flow logs generated. The version is 2, account ID, interface ID, my IP, the private IP of the instance, the SSH port, and the action is reject. Let's go ahead and modify our network ACLs to add a rule for inbound traffic. Let's edit the inbound rules. I'm going to add a new rule with rule number 100, currently for all traffic from any source, and let's go ahead and save our changes. So we now have an inbound rule allowing all traffic, but the outbound rule does not still allow any traffic. Let's navigate back to our terminal and check the SSH operation. The SSH operation still doesn't work. The operation times out. Let's navigate back to CloudWatch and check back for the logs. We have a new entry and it's still reject. Let's navigate back to our VPC management console. We are now going to modify our VPC demo security group to allow inbound traffic. Let's edit the inbound rules. Let's add a new rule that allows the type SSH from anywhere. And let's save the rules. So we now have our security group with inbound rules that allows SSH from anywhere, and the outbound rule which allows all traffic. Let's go back to our terminal and try the SSH operation again. And it still times out. Let's navigate back to our CloudWatch management console and let's search for new events. And we have 2 events now. We have an accept event. Given that we have now allowed inbound traffic in both network ACLs and security group, the incoming traffic from my IP to the private IP is accepted. However, the outgoing traffic from the private IP to my IP has been rejected. Let's navigate back to our VPC management console, network ACLs. Let's edit the outbound rules to add a new rule with a rule number of 100 The traffic is all traffic and the destination to anywhere. Let's save the changes. Now we have updated the NACL to allow all incoming and all outgoing traffic. Let's navigate back to our terminal again and let's SSH into the instance. And this time we are able to successfully SSH into the instance. Let's go back to our CloudWatch management console and let's check for the new records. And now we have 2 records. Both of them are in the accept state. The one that is traffic from my IP to the private instance and the response from the private instance back to my IP. Security groups can also be referred from other security groups. I'll give a quick demo for the same. I'll just navigate back to the configuration to launch a new EC2 instance. Let's just name it for now VPC A private server US East 1B. We are not going to create the server. Let's edit the network settings. Let's map VPC A. Let's map it to the private subnet. And in the security group, now in the source type, instead of anywhere, let's do custom. And in the source, now you can refer the other security group, the VPC security demo security group. And this is how you basically can refer a security group from other security group as well. And that's it for the demo for the network ACLs and security groups. I hope you really enjoyed the video. Thank you.
Alright, that was it. Thank you for watching. You can check out my website and connect me on LinkedIn and Twitter. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. For any feedback, please leave a comment down below. To see more videos like this in the future, hit the subscribe button. Thank you.